The 991.1 has sold, and I don't have mixed feelings. I feel like I got to experience a 911, and I think that's a bucket list item for a lot of car enthusiasts. And I think I got to experience one of the best generations. Like, if you think about it, I could have experienced a bunch of generations, but the naturally aspirated 3.8 engine is just a symphony. So if I had to summarize the entirety of the car, the experience and the best part of this car is the engine noise. Now, I love the look. I actually love the size, and I love everything about the interior. And this was a great car. And why did I sell it? Well, here in Driver's Therapy, and I feel like I'm always saying this, and it's because we have to stand on top of a mountain, aka our channel, and just scream to the world that we are building the largest DIY library in the world for sports cars. And we've got about 50 videos that we did on this car, and it was an adventure. The cool thing is that most of the time when we get a car, I try to skip the really expensive mods because I just don't like spending that much money on modifications, especially how much they cost today. They're so much more expensive. So I actually did the steering wheel upgrade on this car, and I feel like it was mandatory because for 1 year, Porsche, and I'm thinking maybe they did it for longer, but from what I know, for 1 year, they had these thumb shifters, and they were really stupid. Like, trust me when I tell you, they made no sense. And of course, they changed it later. But putting the 991.2 steering wheel changed the entirety experience of this car, made the interior look better, and I feel like it's a mandatory thing. So then after that, we did small things like the puddle lights, the sport lip. We took apart the brakes and we cleaned them, and we changed out the PPF on the quarter panel. We did an oil change. We topped off the coolant. We put BMC air filters in it. We did a lot of POV videos, and we installed the battery tender on it. We just did a lot of things that every owner would want to do. So our library for the 991 was a success. But what happened, and if you watch earlier videos when, I was like, these combinations are amazing, and I meant it. But when the Ford Focus ST entered, it changed everything. And we're talking about a car that's in the $10,000, $15,000 range, more in the $10,000 range. And of course, this car, is an $80,000+ car. And actually, these are going up in value, and it's because they're great. And not only that, Doug DeMuro just made a quick video talking about how the 991 is one of the better 911s out there. And I agree with him. But what happened is that the Ford ST came into our life, and for how much it cost and for how much joy it gave me, it kind of turned my world upside down. And what I mean by that is that the supercar, the NSX and the 911, they're not even in the same field. Like, the NSX is a pure sports car, and the Ford Focus ST is like this little tiny rocket hatchback with turbo sounds, a manual shifter, and it's just a complete, absolute blast. I love it. Reminds me of everything when I was a kid and why I got into cars. And then the 911, I felt like for our car collection, I felt like it was in the middle, but for how much it cost, I felt like I was done with it. I felt like, okay, we've done all the DIY videos, we completed that main mission, we experienced it, we got to actually experience, this model versus the GT4, which is really cool. But then I told myself, you know what, I want to see how, I want to start buying some of the cars that I always wanted when I was in high school. And one of those cars is the 2003 to 2004 Ford Mustang Cobra Terminator, the Terminator. And so I was thinking, well, I could get a Terminator. They're going for about 30 to 40 grand. And I could sell the 911, and then of course, 40 grand towards, finances and everything else. And I was thinking that's probably a cool move. And I accomplished another car for the channel's DIY library. And that's kind of what came up in my mind. And I said, you know what? Let me just see if there's any interest. 2 days, guys. That's like, there was literally so many messages for this car that I literally was thinking, man, did I sell it too low? Because like, there was literally no negotiating. It was like, I want it, that's it. Like, everybody who contacted me were like, there was no bargaining, they just wanted it. And it makes sense though, because like, these cars, look at this car, like, you know, for 80 grand, 80 to 85 grand, like, you're not gonna find such a beautiful, classy car like this. But for me, I felt like I experienced it, and I kind of want to be a little more rowdy. I feel like, you know, like I kind of still want to be kind of Cobra Terminator rowdy. And I felt like, you know what, before I start spending more money on this, I think we should leave it the way it is, because we have an exhaust for the car that we didn't put on. And of course, you could do coilovers, you could do the dampening, little controller, you know, you could start doing wheels, and you could start doing all kinds of stuff, you know, headers and all that. And of course, everything I said is like 5 grand, 4 grand. And before I started doing that, how beautiful and low mileage this car was, I felt that this was a good stopping point. Now here in Driver Step Therapy, we've had over 60 cars, and some cars we keep for 2 years, and most cars we keep for 6 months like this. This car has been amazing, but I feel like it's low mileage, stock, perfect, clean title, completely fine. I feel we stop right here and we start with a new car. And it's been an amazing experience, and I'm so happy that it sold that quick. So the 991 has been a great adventure. We've owned a 986 Porsche Boxer, a 981 Porsche GT4, and now the 991 911S, the Carrera S. Will we get another Porsche? Absolutely. Which one will it be? Well, if I had unlimited money, of course, GT3 Touring. But if in the future, if I want one, I'm thinking that I would try to, I don't know. Honestly, guys, I honestly don't know. I'm thinking later on, if I get the Porsche bug, I might go super old school, or I might, you know, go with the turbo, just experience a turbo, which I think is kind of a progression. But at this point in time, Peak car experience complete, super happy. Thank you for watching the video. Thank you for all you supporters. Thank you, Luis. Thank you, everyone. This has been an amazing, thank you, Suncoast Porsche Parts, for being an integral part of the build. Those guys are an amazing place to buy parts from. You know, they help me out with some of the prices, and they're always willing to look at my videos, and they put our videos on their website, which is super cool. So that's a big accomplishment to have our videos on one of the biggest Porsche websites, and they're great people. So thank you, Rick. Really appreciate that. And yeah, so thank you to you guys. We're closing the chapter, and I'm excited for the next one. And yeah, it's been great. All right, guys, thank you for watching.